this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tin chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư y khổ đà la, tất chư vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Namo Sananto Suchedo Ye Alahadi San Miao San Puto Xie. Namo Tak Tak Tha Tu Ya Da Ya Alahade Tam Miao Tam Bo Da Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jie wen de shou chi yuan jie ru lai zheng shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Huineng, Venerable YongHua, Venerable left home people, and all good non advisors, Emituofo. 诸佛菩萨、六祖、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ, hòa thượng Kiên Hoa, ký thể cô và ký thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 13th of June 2021. We are at Blue Mountain Temple to continue discussing the last chapter, 6th Patriarch Sutra, chapter 10. We are presently on slide towards the end. $121. That far back? Oh, so we hardly made any progress at all the last couple of months. What have you been talking about? Seriously? 121? Really? 121. Okay. Not 131. Okay, sorry about that. So we started with the verses that the great master Huineng told his disciples that model your cultivation after these verses, you can't go wrong. Okay, you won't have to worry about going in the wrong tracks. But he has the 7th Patriarchs designated, haven't he? I don't know the politics at the time. You think that if he had, oh, that's my girl there. She's busy, so she comes on weekends only. The 7th Patriarch has been designated, so why would he be worried about teaching his disciples so that they know what to do? What do you think? They're not kind of overdoing it. I mean, he has like 3 or 4 7th patriarchs that he recognized them already. And so why worry about these final instructions? Huh? Well, he cares. Okay? I think it's the first thing as a YouTube question. Go ahead.
Daniel asks, what does Namo mean?
Namo is a very, very secret word. That means I return my life and rely upon you. Okay? All right. So the reason that he gave these verses is, number one, is that he probably is a little bit attached to his disciples. He says, I care for you, I'm leaving you behind, and but I care, and I show my caring by giving you these verses, these final instructions, so that you don't go off on the wrong tracks. Okay, so that furthermore, if my successors, they teach you things, okay, this is just my words, my interpretation. Sometimes they don't understand what I mean, okay, so it's good for you to reference with my verses, as my teachings, as a guide in your practice, okay. So, and number 3 is very important, is that we weren't there, but the people who were there, he was worried about them, so he gave them specific instructions to help them in the next legs of the journeys, if you will. Okay, so these instructions are incredibly ingenious, insightful, if you will. So I find that the surprising too, because as I sit here and lecture to you on this sutra, I'm discovering new meaning as well. So we're all learning new stuff from this. See, that's a proof of the depth of the instruction of the great good known advisor. Okay? I'm waiting. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Wait. Okay. So let's continue. I could go back to the prior section. I love the prior sections, but I think that's enough of that. Sutra text on slide 121. I tell you, students of the way, apply efforts and make sure that at the gate of the great vehicle, do not grasp the wisdom of birth and death.
报诸学道人，努力须用意，莫于大圣门，却指生死志。
This is his tips for you. He says, if you consider yourself to be students of the way, meaning you want to practice the way in order to become enlightened. Okay? So it's a right kind of mindset. You see, it's not for everyone. If the casual observer, the casual listener says, oh, I enjoy this. It's so good entertainment on Sunday evening, after a day at the beach. It's nice that finally the temple turned on the AC. After we've been sweating like heck all afternoon. And these people at the temple have no compassion whatsoever. Yes, JMT.
Hello. I have a question about the birth and death part. It's slightly unrelated to this verse. But in the past, Master mentioned that if you do 49 days by triple jewel, you don't fall to the three evil paths. Does it work when the monk doesn't matter if the monk is virtuous or not virtuous, or any monk can do that?
Do what?
Any fully ordained monk does 49 days, then this person doesn't fall into the three evil paths. Does it mean that?
What do you think? The question is, in Buddhism, at the gate of the threshold of birth and death, you die and you're born to a new body. Okay? And this is the Buddhist view of life. We die, it's not over. It's just a next leg of the journey. And this transmigration that we've been doing since beginning of time. That's why you're here. That's why we're all here. Because we've been doing this very well. Okay? And so at this threshold of death, of this current body, and birth of the new body, so there's a transition period called 49 days. Okay? It's typically it takes 49 days so that we have plenty of chances to improve our lot, if you will, for the next leg of the journey, for the next body. So in Buddhism, when the Buddha taught that, so the Buddhist has a very nice tradition, and I highly recommend it, whether you're Buddhist or not. It doesn't hurt to ask a Buddhist monk or nun to do 49-day service for you, for your loved one, whether you're Buddhist, Catholic, Mormon, or whatever. Doesn't matter, okay? Because what it does is that the monks and nuns, they go through these services, peculiar to their temples, to generate blessings for you, so that it's sort of like the dowry for your next life, your next body. Okay, so they generate blessings, they generate assets for you for your next body. So it's a very, very wonderful practice, very insightful that the Buddha gave us those tips for everyone. Okay? So if you are not Buddhist and you don't happen to believe it, it's okay. But if you say, well, if it were true, it might be a good insurance policy, just in case something goes wrong in my side, okay, of my spiritual beliefs, my spiritual procedure. So I highly recommend it, by the way, okay? So it can be done with or without the consent of the family or the deceased, okay? Blessings is blessings. Think of it as like you or someone gives you money and deposit it into your account under your name. Okay? That's yours. Okay? So it's highly, highly useful. And so the question is, part of the Buddhist wisdom is that when you change bodies, make sure that you don't fall into the animal realms, into the hungry ghost realms, into the hells, okay? Because you fall, if you think your current life is a lot of suffering, you ain't seen nothing yet. So that's the wisdom, Buddhist wisdom. So the monks and nuns, in general, when they do that, actually, it's a good. They're earning good blessings for their followers. Okay, so the question is, if the monks and nuns do this, will this guarantee that the beings, those people will for sure be exempt from following the three lower paths? What do you think? What is your wisdom? Okay, seeing you so excited. Yeah, anyone has any ideas or clues, opinions? We can start practicing throwing those mics around. It would be so cool. Hey, catch.
I think, can you hear me? It's okay. I think it might depend on the cultivation level of the monk or nuns or the temple, I'm guessing.
Sure, it's just common sense, right? Is there any guarantee in life? Can anyone guarantee you anything in this life? Clearly, not everything is the same. Not everyone does it the same way or creates the same effects, the same desired effects. So, of course, it's just the same as you are making different levels of salaries. You're earning different levels of salaries, different levels of income. It's the same thing. The monks, when they do these services, they are creating different types, different levels of blessings. So you need to have a certain level of blessings to avoid falling to three lower realms. And if the monks and nuns fail to do that, okay, then tough luck, you fall. Okay, number one. Number two, Emituofo's blessings. Also in terms of, you have 7 weeks. This is the monks and nuns don't tell you that. 7 weeks after you die is a long, long time. You're very uncomfortable. You are hungry, you're thirsty, you're cold, you're scared. So 7 weeks, 49 days is an eternity for you. Yes, you too.
平等清净asks, in what way does it help if one refrain from eating meat for 49 days for a deceased person?
Okay, it helps reduce the toxins you take into your body. Okay, so it helps put you in a better mood. But what about for the deceased? During this 49 days, it's not just the abstinence from consuming meat or fish or lobsters or seafood, scallops. Excuse me. I do get sidetracked easily. But during this 49-day period, any acts of goodness will create blessings. Okay? So whether it's abstaining from eating meat or fish, that is abstaining from taking lives, participating in the cycles of the killing cycles of meat consumption, if you will. So that creates merit and virtue. So that creates blessings. So for that, you will generate blessings, and when you give those blessings to the deceased, it's gonna will be added to the plus columns of the deceased. Okay. All right, and finally, number 3 is that I forgot about number 3. So tough luck. Serves you right for interrupting me. If I remember next time, I tell you. Okay, I tell you, I'm a very fragile person. If you expect samadhi from me, go somewhere else. Okay, So if you mind, going back to slide 122, if your mind is set on cultivation, okay, it's not for everyone, mind you, okay? You want to improve your lot. Cultivation, if you will, some of you are reluctant to say, I'm not into spiritual thing, but cultivation has many facets of it. Some people came to look at cultivations as a way to improve their health, both physical and mental. Okay, some look at cultivation to improve relationships with the family members, with the loved ones in particular. Okay, and so forth. Some of you look at cultivation to make yourselves smarter. It's possible to be smarter as you, okay? So that's it says, I tell you, if you are a student of the way, so the way here is a way to nirvana. Along the way, it's an ascension, you're improving. So many good things happen to you as you walk on this path. Okay, so please don't be stuck. Especially you Westerners, don't be stuck by this concept, this Asian concept of cultivation. Cultivation, actually, to me, at the least, okay, it's like spiritual gym, going to the gym. Okay, the temple is like a spiritual gym. And you go and you work on your biceps, triceps, and so forth. Okay? It's very practical. I'm sorry. And the Asian would look at me as sacrilegious, but I don't care. Okay, so if you have the need to improve on something, okay, then what do? You apply efforts. This encapsulates his wisdom right here. I'm sorry, monks and nuns, many of them look at the monks and nuns' life as a place of comfort where you're going to be taken care of, you're going to be safe, you have protection, and so forth. Actually, for us, students of the way, we apply efforts. This is our lifestyle. Okay? Doesn't hurt to have a temple by the ocean. But, and in the evening, get together and have a barbecue or something. After we work so hard. But it's predicated upon you apply efforts. Okay? This is not all the time. He says, you students of the way need to apply efforts. You see the Asian wisdom here? See, why in Mahayana we have, like today, the last month or so? What do? We apply efforts. We fast. That's applying efforts. We get up at 3 in the morning. That's applying efforts. Yes? So, this is the Mahayana wisdom. We have to apply efforts if we want to study the way. We're not supposed to be comfortable. You want to improve. You go to the gym. You want to build up your biceps and triceps and quads and glutes and all those things. You have to experience pain and fatigue. Yes? That's called applying efforts. Why do you think that at the gym you have to do that, and at the temple and you want to become enlightened, you can take it easy? I don't get it. So if you come to the temple and you don't apply efforts, then it's a social temple. Yes, go ahead, JMT.
I have a good news. I heard two people at JMT had visions. They are not related. They don't know about each other's vision. They saw me doing building a new temple next ocean.
Oh my goodness. Did you hear that? Let me translate for you. I want to make sure you don't, you didn't hear it wrong, okay? This is at JMT, two people had different visions, okay? That is, when you talk about visions, it's because they open their heavenly eye, they can see, okay? A little bit into the future. That's a heavenly eye, by the way, one of the 5 eyes. I urge you to open it. Okay, maybe you can see the next lotto numbers. Huh? It would be so cool. Or if anyone ever sees me at Las Vegas polling those things, make sure you gave me the proper address and the process lot number, the machine number, please. Okay? So, a couple of people independently had a vision of Xian An, our fearless Xian An, and for that, this news, I will promote her to become a bhikshu very soon, bhikshuni very soon. I'm easily bribed. So she saw Xian An building a temple. Is it big or small, Xian An?
I don't know. We need to ask those people. But they saw me doing on the ocean side, very nice view.
Only nice view? Could be just a villa.
I'll verify with those two, but I'm not sure about the size.
They're not there?
They are not here today. Sorry. It was a while back about the vision.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay, forget it. If you do that, I promote you to become bhikshuni. How's that? Deal? Okay. So you have to apply efforts. Okay. So the chi here, the chis are the concept behind the chis is that you apply effort, you push yourself. Instead of 9 days, you go 18 days, and so forth. You don't stop too soon, Yes, sir, Orange.
Thank you, Master. How do you manage your attachment to efforts? Because I feel like, speaking for myself, sometimes I feel pride in how much I'm trying, but I find that the breakthroughs aren't within the trying, but actually in the achieving.
Okay. Very good. Anyone? This is a tough question. Look at as to see who has the wisdom to answer this kind of question. The question gets harder and harder and harder to answer. Anyone? Okay.
Thank you, Master. My suggestion is it's not easy and it doesn't come quickly by any means, but is to look for achievement within the suffering and the effort. So the first time I was able to cross my legs in full lotus, that was an achievement. I felt great. But in retrospect, I felt even better when I was first struggling to get even into half lotus and making that effort was even harder. So my suggestion would be to find fulfillment and achievement on your hardest days when you feel like you're achieving the least, you're actually achieving the most.
Okay? Very good. Anyone else? That's it? That's all the wisdom you have to offer? I mean, it's pretty good, but okay. Yeah. I don't know how the other wise teachers explain it to you. In particular, the famous teachers, I have to confess to you, I really didn't have enough blessings to learn from them directly. So, but I can tell you what works in my personal experience and what works because I watch the people evolve and improve and apply themselves the last 15 years I've been teaching. Okay? So my answer may be kind of unusual, unorthodox, but the way I explain it certainly is unorthodox because I was really never went through the traditional way of training, sitting into the 6th Patriarch assembly and listening to him for years and years, and that's how you learn. You learn the proper way. Okay, so please bear with me. Go ahead, YouTube. You have an answer.
Daniel says, continue to try without giving up.
Okay. Okay. So the supply efforts here is the secret in Mahayana practices. Students of the way here on slide 122 refers to people who are doing the Mahayana practices. Okay, and again, as I said, it's not just the students of the way, but anyone who wants to reach a goal that's challenging, that's difficult to reach. Okay, that's a concept behind this. The way here is challenging, it's difficult to reach, it's rewarding. Okay, it's beneficial, it is lofty. For many, it's lofty. Okay, so you have those aspirations. You need to apply efforts. Okay, and the efforts here refers to the fact that don't be stuck on success. Don't be so small-minded. Okay, this is so typical of modern day people. They do something, they say, what's in it for me? Okay, we don't have this type of teachers anymore. Even back then, if you're able to go to Master Huineng's temple and stay there, and at the temple, and be allowed to stay there, and be students of the way at the temple. Okay, the mere fact of going through the regular schedule there is to apply efforts. All right, so you can't look at applying efforts that has to be measured in terms of concrete numbers and concrete things. Okay, because it's not meant to be that way. It's like, if you will, there are many cases where people have been applying efforts for 10 years and they're still plodding along very, very slowly. Okay? And then all of a sudden, okay, in a span of a few weeks, few months, I noticed that. I saw some people recently, And I said, what happened to you? So it's just like, it's a matter of weeks. This particular person jumped from second arhat to third stage arhat. In a matter of weeks. And before that, it's 10 years. Plodding along, working hard, going to many cheese everywhere, to no avail. Okay? So you see, you don't worry. You cannot say, if I do this, what are the measurable results for me? My tip for you is that it's not the same way as that people typically see it, understand it. You go in this environment like Master Hui Neng's temple, okay? You stick around, all those things there will bring you to success, to whatever, to the big results, okay? Eventually. So the answer to the question is, you don't worry about the results. You worry about applying efforts. Have you tried hard enough? Did you quit? Are you still applying more efforts? Don't be so comfortable. Okay? You're not supposed to be comfortable. If you're comfortable, then it's time for you to apply more efforts. Comfortable is death. Comfortable is decay. Retirement is nirvana? No. For losers. No, I take it back. Unless you are in your 60s. See, my point here is that you have this great teacher here who's overseeing your development, your training. So just follow along, that's all. And eventually you see. Okay? If he trained you and says, if you do this and you do that, it's guaranteed success for you, it's not called training anymore. Okay? Then the nature of the sudden teaching is that sometimes it takes a long time before you build up momentum for you to make a leap. Okay? Whereas the Hinayana people, they cannot do those leaps. They go step by step by step by step. Like worldly people, they need to see those steps. Mahayana, we quietly, plug along, okay? And then it builds momentum, and one day you leap. Okay? And I'm so excited that I'm so pleased that I see some people improve. Okay? Okay? Not just that one person, but other people as well. Okay? So, having said that, it implies that just like the 6th Patriarch here, you have a good advisor who oversees your development. Like when you go to the Pure Land, Amitabha will oversee your development, okay, himself personally. So you should not worry about gauging your success yourself in our world, because you don't know what the gauges are. We have the gauges, you don't. Okay? The teachers have their own gauges that you are not privy to. Okay? So, and finally, that's part of faith. This particular person who made a leap recently discovered faith. I don't know he agrees with me, but That's the only big change. No more doubts. No in the back of his head. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. You know, vaccines. You know, these people are conspiring to kill us. You know, the vaccine people. You doubt. You have these doubts that gnaws your guts. All right? Does it help? Go ahead, JMT.
Master, is the person's name start with D?
Me? Me?
D?
Me? Huh?
A, B, C, D?
B? A, B, C, B? B?
No, D, as a dog. Dog?
D?
No, D.
None of your
As
business.
a dog.
It's so cool. Anyway, congratulations, that person who will remain nameless, and he probably will never know if I can. Okay? Anyone else? Okay, so you apply efforts. That's your job. Okay? That's all you do. You don't sit there and worry, ooh, why is it taking this long for me to get there? Why is it so fast as someone else? Why and why? I give you an example, but I can reveal another person. I know you guys can't. You guys say, let me see, it's a he, so that cuts out 2/3 of the people at our temples. Okay? Okay? So it's recent. So where has he been? Some detective work here. Okay, but I want to tell you this nice thing that makes me very happy. The lady back there who's sleeping, you know, she's been coming to my temple, Blue Mountain Temple, for so long. Okay, even when we went through this crisis where no one came anymore, she still stood in the back there, back row. Okay, on Sunday morning, she comes on Sunday mornings to do the Pure Land recitation only. She would stand in the back row like there, the very, very last row, right in the edge, so that no one else can be further from it. And she does a thing, and people said, you know, this is a bad temple, he's a bad monk, and all those things. He says, I don't care. I don't care whatever you think, whatever you say. I just come here for the Dharma. I come here to recite the Buddha's name. I come here to practice. I come here to meditate. I come here to, do repentances. Whatever you say is what you say. Okay? And so ignore all this the rumor mill. Who's enlightened, who's not. Who's good, who's bad. Okay? And I don't even give her any instructions. And she says, Master, I don't know much. You have to tell me what to do. I say, how much money do you have? So I gave her very few instructions. She quietly plodded along. And now, and I ignore her because she says, leave me alone. Basically, attitude, leave me alone. I'm here to do my thing. Okay? So if the temple needs help, I come and help. But, if you ask. But she's very, very quiet and very low-key person. And without me teaching her how to meditate, how to recite the Buddha's name, how to recite, this and that, do this and that, she made herself to first stage arhat. Okay? Isn't that cool? Just like that. Just like that. You understand? She doesn't sit there and say, am I making progress? Am I making progress? How come he's so slow? Why so slow? Why everyone else around me is improving, I'm not? You know why is that such a big deal? Why do I make such a big deal for the lay people to make it the first stage arhat? Do you know why? Huh? Would you like to know why? No, I'm not going to tell you today. Too hot today. Turn on the AC too late. Oh, someone has a question. Red.
Mô Phật bạch thầy, cảm ơn thầy. Con tới đây con hiểu biết vậy chứ bây giờ thầy nói sao con nghe vậy chứ con không biết con làm cái gì, mà con không biết con học cái gì, mà con chỉ là rảnh một ngày chủ nhật để con tới chùa, là cái đó là niềm tốt nhất của con thôi. Cảm ơn thầy. Mô Phật, cảm ơn thầy nhiều.
Master, thank you so much. You know that I come here at this temple.
Tears of joy. It's cute because she says that I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand what you talk about anyway. So, but she confided, and in some cases she says, "Wow, today during the 6th Patriarch Sutra lecture, he spoke so well. I don't know what he talked about, but it sounded so good." Just don't ask him what he talked about. Okay? But it sounded so good. You see, she doesn't understand much. Okay? Why? It doesn't even matter you understand or not. Okay? Yeah. And it's a big deal because once you get the first stage arhatship, you're called entering the flow of the sages. Okay? Another name for first stage arhat is Ru Liu, meaning entering the flow of sagehood, of sage people, meaning you get into this flow here, it carries you without efforts. You don't need to do anything. Seriously, you don't need to do anything. Brady, no more heavy lifting. Okay? It carries you along this flow here to improve your lot automatically. You go from first stage to second stage, the third stage to fourth stage, naturally. Even if you don't want to, you'll be carried anyway. You have no choice. We have the last lap. So, for example, some of the Catholics, I hope, who come here, I hope they get the first stage arhatship, and then we have the last lap, won't we? Yeah? Okay. So you see, so more specifically, the scriptures say, your first stage arhat. Okay, like this Cambodian monk I knew when I first came a left home person at CTTB. He died. He went to the heavens. Okay? So he went to the heavens, and because he's the first stage arhat, he'll come back to the human realm 7 times. 7 times. In the human realm, become humans here 7 times. In the heaven, go down. Heaven 7 times. The 7th time, he'll certify to 4th stage arhat automatically. No one can stop him. No one. So far, so good? Isn't that cool? It's automatic. Even if I don't like you, it doesn't matter anymore. Okay? You will become 4th stage arhat, and you come back here the 7th time, human realm. YouTube question.
And Daniel asks, how can a Catholic reach arhat stage?
What can we tell our friend? Yes. Green. And there's lots of opinions here.
First is he has to become a Buddhist first.
First has to become Buddhist. Very good. Orange.
It's out of my mouth.
Took the words out of her mouth. Anyone else? Okay. The answer in general is for us to know and for you to find out. I have all these lines prepared for him already. Okay, JMT.
Hello, Master. I found out the temple was really, really huge. On the ocean side.
Is there a year? Is there a clue about the year or the timing? 2021?
Let me find out. I've been texting with this too.
22?
No, I mean, I've been asking those two people. One said,
And wait. And you were the construction coordinator or the person who is holding the whip?
According to the description, it seems like I was supervisor.
Supervisor. Wow. I'm
Building the
so
temple.
proud of you. I'd be so proud of you. Okay? Don't quit too soon, okay?
I'll try.
It's funny because we, for some reason, now people feel so carefree and relaxed that they can talk about, I see this, I see that. And so, you too? It's weird, okay? So we have a lot of crazy people at the temples. Okay, where were we? Okay, so you first stage arhat, okay? Guaranteed, okay? When you get back to human realm, the key is you get back to human realm. It's the 7th time you will become a 4th stage arhat. That's how important. That's why it's so important. Okay? If you're a 2nd stage arhat, you come back only once. That's it. You will certify the 4th stage arhatship. 4th stage is a kind of cool thing. Okay? And by the way, we also have some as well. I'm so excited. But anyway, let's stay on the message here. And then, 3rd stage arhatship, okay? Then you go up to the heavens, you certify the 4th stage arhatship in the heavens. You don't come back anymore. Okay? 4th stage arhat, I don't know. Okay. You 4th stage arhat, what else you want? Come on. Okay? So that's why it is so important. If you encounter the Dharma, like Daniel and the like, you certify 1st stage arhatship, you will, you on to that flow right there that will take you to nice places. It's so beautiful. You see that? And that's what you Ru disciples are supposed to do. Huh? So I hope that all of you who are Ru disciples, okay, and those who are not, I don't care, okay. For Ru disciples, I hope all of you are bunched up in a 1st stage arhat thing at least, okay. It's so cool. Seriously, it's a fantastic thing. All right, JMT.
Master, everyone at the JMT had a comment about arhat. When you become an arhat, you come to Master's temple and clean the restroom.
And apply efforts too. Okay, very good. Okay, so you apply efforts. Nụ lý. Okay, I want you to remember this. I don't quite understand the English word, apply efforts. But I understand nỗ lực because Vietnamese is the same concept, nỗ lực. Okay? Nỗ lực here is key here. Nỗ lực is you have to really make the effort, not just apply effort. Really make the effort. That's the difference. Like when you're pumping irons, it's those last reps where the muscles are burning. That's what we're talking about. See, south of the border, we take it easy. Okay? Siesta. Day at the beach. Right? But if you are still in the way, nỗ lực. Is that clear? You see? Remember? It's not supposed to be comfortable. You have to. That right there is what will create the desired effects for you. That's all you have to worry about. He says here, apply efforts. You don't worry about when am I going to be successful? Why are they successful and I'm not? You hear? So far, so good? So apply efforts. I know many of you, I've been chicken, I don't dare tell you that in your face. But remember, no more Mr. Nice Guy. I have too many people online now, so I don't care if you don't come anymore or not. You have to apply efforts, okay, guys? Okay, so that you reach into the first stage, arhat, and go into this slow, beautiful flow. Like the go-kart. And make sure that, 用意, make sure that, okay, make sure it's okay. Make sure it's okay. But 用意 here is much stronger than make sure. 用意 here is will yourself. Will it. 用意 here is to will it. Agree or disagree, you Chinese people? Make sure here is still not, I'm not quite sure about the English meaning, but 用意 here is use your will power. Okay? You want to become a millionaire? There's millionaire schools, you know what they teach you? Okay? You have to will it. You have to will yourself to do things. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. Okay? You just will yourself. You don't look at results. Okay? And the results will come. Questions, comments? This is a very powerful statement. This is so insightful. This is Mahayana wisdom right here. These tips are incredible. Yes, sir. It skips a few steps, but if you get to the point, this is what's beautiful about this. If you get to the point where you find yourself applying efforts and will yourself to do it, okay? That's what he's talking about. Yes, Orange.
Thank you, Master. Again, from my experience, how does one recognize that one is truly willing? I feel like in my meditation, it at least takes time to calm myself enough to feel like I'm truly willing, but I don't know if that's too much cognitive examination.
Follow the instructions. Don't try to understand too much. That's a problem with you intellectuals and smart people. You try to understand too much. Okay? No need to understand. You just do more, do something, apply, try harder, okay, to the exhaustion, and will yourself to do even more. This is what it's despair. That's what it means. You apply effort. You have to push yourself to the limit when it starts burning, and you feel like giving up. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, you pumping iron. You go to that final rep, the rep number 19. Okay, you're supposed to go 20, 19, and it's burning, and you say no, Li. You keep on pushing yourself, okay, to 19, and then it burns, but then you will yourself to forget about the pain. Yes, because if you dwell on the pain, then you will yourself to quit. We learned this trick from pumping irons, you know that? So if you can pump iron, you're supposed to become enlightened very easily. Not funny. Whims. Okay? Eat more, Joseph, so that you can build up your biceps. Questions or comments? This is beautiful. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But it has all these secret tips. Okay? You apply first and will it. It's kind of bland way to explain it, but I dramatize it for you a little bit. Nu Li is to push yourself, okay? Push, and then to will it is to use your mind to refuse to accept your limitations, to stick to the familiar. Yes, sir, agree.
Athletes have a way of visualizing that moment of success, whether it's extra repetitions or it's finishing downhill skiing or tennis or anything. They will set their mind to seeing that, and that will give them the kind of effort they need to be successful.
Excellent. I heard the tennis stars, the tennis champions, and the champions talk about that. They're taught by their sports psychologists to picture their success instead of limiting yourself to the pain and the suffering and their own limitations, and work very well for them. However, all due respect to the sports psychologist, still very limited to their imagination, Brady. Okay? They can only imagine so much. And in that imagination, they doubt. They say, this would be nice. I've been dreaming about this, but I still can't become a U.S. Open champion. So then doubts eventually sets in. That's what the sports psychologists, all due respect to you professionals, are not saying. They're only telling you these occasional success stories of the champions. Okay? Using that. Everyone else is doing that. But they're not explaining to you that the bulk of us who try that methodology fail. Am I making sense to you? That's what I, as a professional meditation teacher, sees it as. It's a fallacy. You just put yourself in this imaginary world where I'm the champion. I'm in charge of building a two beautiful temple. Is it two or one? No, a beautiful big temple by the ocean. That's hallucinations. Give me the address. City name. Coastline, a photo of a coastline. And I can recognize where it is. Never mind. You see what I mean? So I don't subscribe to that theory of visualizing success. Okay? Here, what happened to my slides? Who did that? 122. Sabotage. I'm a little bit paranoid. If you haven't noticed, okay? You apply efforts, okay? Meaning that you set the schedule for 20 reps instead of 10 reps. Okay? That's apply efforts. If you will, if you use these English translation, which is it's okay, but I don't have any better thing, unless you can come up with something better. I don't have time to. My English is not good enough. So you apply efforts, and then you will it, meaning that you remember rep number 19, number 20. That's when you forget about the burn. Okay, you don't visualize success. By the way, my friend, you just not think of the burn. Okay? The things you can do better than visualizing success. Okay? Questions or comments? It's so profound. You guys, if we don't pay attention, you read through these 4 lines of 4 verses, apply efforts, will it? But it contains this wisdom, incredible wisdom, that so beautifully expressed in very simple words. That's why the translation cannot possibly capture all of that depth. Huh? Because remember, he's Chinese. He's not American. So his use of the Chinese characters has a different meaning that it takes a Vietnamese to understand it. Now I'm making fun of the Chinese. Go ahead. Let me have it. Chinese people. Okay? Work on it. And will it? 莫与大圣门. Make sure that when you arrive at the gate of the great vehicle, okay? Let's make a deal. Don't force me to embellish the English here, because I can't. I'm too limited, too coarse. No literary skills, okay? Language skills. So let me explain to you in my English, okay? So at the gate of the great vehicle, okay, when you arrive at the gate of vehicle, there's something you should avoid, okay? 追求生死处. Do not grasp at the wisdom of birth and death. Okay? Why you look at me and you think I understand everything? You put so much pressure. Go on. What does he mean? I said, I don't know. Just like you, I don't know. Let's continue and see if he can elaborate and be clearer. Because I don't understand. Okay? He basically says, okay, JMT.
Master, did the English miss one Chinese character to be translated?
No.
Because there seems like there's one more meaning in the character in front of grasp.
Chui, make sure.
Because it says like, it seems like, I don't know how to translate this, but it seems like don't turn around and grasp. Like you just go forward. Something like, I don't know.
It's to me, he says, the connotation here, I'd rather wait until to see more before I commit to how I explain it to you, okay? Because I don't want to contradict Master Wei Neng and then reveal that I'm overreaching all this time, okay? I'm willing to take chances so far, okay? I can only go so far, okay? To try to sell you. But Chui here is that, here's what happens. When you're at the gate of Mahayana, wherever that is, okay, never mind. You don't know what it is yet. I'm not sure what it is. I have an idea what it is, but I'm not going to take a chance, okay? You don't know what it is. It's if wherever it is, someone will tell you, you at the gate of Mahayana. That's all you need to know, okay? We don't need to know everything. This is all we have. When you're at the gate of Mahayana, okay, Chui, Chu Sheng Su, Chu, okay, you at the gate of Mahayana, okay, don't grasp at. You will have, when you get there, there's something, you will have something called wisdom about birth and death that you will have. What's implied here, at that point, you will have some wisdom, some inherent wisdom about birth and death yourself. Not just what I just told you about 49 days, about first stage art, second stage art, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Okay, you yourself will have that wisdom. This is what's implied here. Okay, I don't need to understand Chinese to tell you that. Okay, at that point in time, you have some wisdom about birth and death. Yes, Billy, you will have wisdom. Okay, and when that happens, okay, even you have the wisdom, don't grasp it. This is what the Chui mean to me. Even though you have the wisdom, don't grasp it. Even though you understand how to make more money than before, don't hang on to that. Don't exploit that knowledge. Questions, comments? Why not? Just before we turn the page, turn the slides, why not? Let's take a wild guess. Why not? You have this special knowledge that makes you better than the average person. Don't hang on to that knowledge, that wisdom. Why not? Yes. Left hand. Red.
Thank you, Master. My guess is your attachment to that knowledge might prevent you from progressing to Mahayana. I'm anticipating it's the Dharma door to get you to the Pure Land.
Very good. Exactly. Because that knowledge may be very special. You know how to make a lot of money. But that is small gains. So don't grasp, don't take advantage of it, don't utilize it. Because you're destined for bigger things. In the Mahayana realm. Why you look at me and smile like that? I'm Mahayana, you Hinayana. Don't smile at Mahayana from Hinayana. Okay, next. 123. So we took a stab. Okay, let's see if we just embarrass ourselves. 123. sutra text. If there is response at those words, then let us discuss the Buddha's meaning together. If there is no response, join your hands together and make others glad.
若言下相应，即共论佛意；若实不相应，合掌令欢喜。
Okay. See, I don't know what I'm doing. 124. Okay. If the response, okay, at my words, previous gatha, these are 4 sentences, okay? If the response, if that's what you see, it has some responses, some insights, okay, then let us discuss the Buddha's meaning together, okay? Then you have wisdom. I would like to talk to you, okay? It would not be a waste of my time to talk to you because you have wisdom. Okay? If there's no response, if you have no response, then how do you get out of this bind? Join your hands together and make others glad. That's what he says. Anyone has any clues? Any guess? You can help me, you know. I don't have to deliver all the time. And this is your sutra as well. Thank you. Orange to the rescue.
Does it mean that if there isn't a response with sudden enlightenment, then it's okay. Just put your hands together and be kind to others.
I resemble that. Anyone else? Orange.
Thank you, Master. My understanding is that if you teach this to somebody and they respond to it positively, they agree with you, then this is a good person for you to discuss the Buddha's meaning together. And then if you explain the Dharma to someone and this guy is basically just not responding, not understanding it at all, then it is a good time to join your hands and just practice kindness.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's try San Diego. White.
Well, it seems like in the second case you wouldn't quite be there yet. But putting your hands together and being kind to others suggests that you're practicing humility and patience and compassion. And that's definitely going to keep you progressing towards the understanding.
San Diego has it. And Long Beach as well. China lost its ways. What are you talking about, man? Seriously, let me explain to you in Chinese what the Chinese means. Good Lord, don't embarrass yourself like that again. Xiang Ying here, okay? It's the response when you do something, you pray to Wan Yin for money. You get some money. That's called Xiang Yin, okay? She responds to you. Xiang is towards you. Ying is, reply to you. Okay? Yeah, so because I commit myself, the patriarchs, I committed myself with these words, and you follow these words, and you have some responses, some results you want. Okay? That's what xiang ying is. Chinese person, you understand? You agree? You see, I find myself Vietnamese explaining Chinese to a Chinese. It's the absurdity of our temple. And the Chinese are not happy about it. Let us discuss the Buddhist meaning together, meaning that then you have insights from your perspective. You know, you're the one who says, you know, when I did that, this is what happened to me. This is how I made it. Okay? By not visualizing success. Okay? But by emptying myself, by not focusing on my pain, that's a form of emptying yourselves. Instead of confining yourself to your imagination of success. Agree or disagree, sir? Green.
I could disagree on the basis that, once again, to perfect the art of imagining, visualizing your success, that comes in very subtle steps. And let's get back to what you used as an example, of weightlifting repetitions. If you want to get to 10 reps, say with 250 pounds, then that 10th one is one more than you did yesterday or the day before. So you know at some point you're going to encounter this further pain that you're going to have to build up to and have the success to complete it. So that is done in steps. So I still think visualizing is possible there.
Only us weightlifters understand what we're talking about. The rest of them but I know where you're coming from. How about San Diego? You agree with that? Visualization and success? Give her a microphone. We got free advices, that's all.
I think there's a limitation because you can't really, I mean, visualization's wonderful as a tool, but when we're talking about this level of success, we can't rely on the minds that we have now to get there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's why I don't like the visualization, because it limits yourself. Okay? It's self-limiting. If you use your mind, it's self-limiting. Okay? So, for example, a tennis player visualizing himself winning, with a strong forehand, but actually backhand sucks. Yeah, so it's because it's all he can imagine. You see that? And very crude example to tell you why using your visualization power, ability, is very self-limiting. Thank you. Yes, Orange.
Master, I think also a problem I find for myself is I seem to have this ability sometimes with visions or other things like that. And I think sometimes they get in the way of my advancing, because I might think, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I have this ability. And I basically realize I have to pretty well trash it. I just have to throw it away or put it away somewhere and do what the work I need to do. Just kind of like, put it in a drawer somewhere and, because it doesn't help me. And then just follow your instructions.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, so let me go back and educate the Chinese again. Verse number 3. 莫使 不相应. Okay? If in actuality, the fact is that, if the fact is that there's no response. Okay, the fact meaning you yourself, not about what others say. I can say, you made it to first stage Arhat, but say, I don't feel anything. Okay? So to you, it's not true. And to me, you're ungrateful. Okay? But that's besides the point. Okay? So, 肉食不相应, meaning like, if actually there's no response at all, okay? When in fact there is no response at all, okay? Then join your palms together, okay? And make other happy. Be respectful. Palms together is be respectful towards everyone. Losers, champions, Catholics, spies. Okay? Still respect them. Put your palms together. I respect you. I'm very respectful, and I do things. When I respect you, I make my purpose is to make you bring joy to your life. It's the practice of kindness. Be respectful and practice kindness. It's not about you. My instructions are not about you. It's not just for you. Do you understand? It's very tough here, but the Chinese, they have this gentle way of teaching. We Westerners are a lot more crude. It says, be respectful. It's not about you. Learn to be kind to others. Whether you fail or succeed, you have to be respectful and be kind to others. Don't always come and say, me, what about me, what about me, what about me, what about me? It's not what Mahayana is about. Spies are exempt from this, of course. I'm so tired by now. I'm hungry. Yes, go ahead, spy number 2, orange.
Mary Jo put it very nicely. She said visualization doesn't work with the mindset. I was gonna say, when visualization without cultivation, without the good seed, a lot of time is you fall into the trap of lying to yourself without even realizing it. So, but at the higher level, like when you have enough Kung Fu, like the Buddha say everything comes from the mind, you do use your visualization. For example, we have a Tuha. When she visualizes, she sees all the Buddhas and everything. When I visualize, I feel like I'm lying to myself and I'm giving an illusion to myself. So that's the difference between the two. Mine won't work. Her case, it works perfectly well.
Try yoga. Anyone else? Thank you, your words of wisdom. Seriously, it's a good thing you forced me to make a guesses about, at the gate of great vehicle, do not grasp wisdom, birth and death, because he's not elaborating on this. Oof. Okay. Anyway, I'm very insecure, have you noticed? Make others glad. It's listen carefully. He says, when you practice and you're not seeing results, there's some questions about results. I'm practicing, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. I don't feel anything. Okay? So to you, the fact is that there's no response. Still be respectful and practice kindness. That's Mahayana. Okay? Your time will come. Promise. Your time will come. Okay? Does it help? This is how the Chinese, they don't say, we Westerners say, your time will come. He says, just make others glad. Okay? You should be glad because we got some free advice from a shrink. Okay, thank you. Okay? Okay, next. Are we okay now? Can we continue? Okay. 125. Text. The basis of this school is non-contention. New topic. Contention is not the will of the way. For in grasping at the Dharma doors of contradiction and contention, the self-nature enters birth and death.
此中本无真，真即失道义，执逆真法门，自信入生死。
126. Okay. The basis of our school, this school, is non-contention. Okay? And that's what Master YongHua teaches us. First principle, look at yourself. Do I fight? So he translates it into how do you apply this principle, this doctrine to yourself? Okay? Don't say, you are a Wei Yang, third generation. How come you're fighting? None of your business. You only ask yourself, I'm a third generation, why am I fighting? Okay? That's Master YongHua's interpretation of this doctrine. So far, so good? That's what patriarchs do. Contention is not the will of the way. No. No. I disagree with the translation. Chinese people help me out. Disagree with me. Korean, you can jump in too. Unless the Korean translation is no good. You Chinese, or you answering as a Chinese person? That's what I'm looking for. Okay, we give them a chance anyway, when the Chinese can gather their thoughts.
Contention, so 真即是道义. So it basically means if you're fighting, then immediately you disappeared. You run away from the way's meaning. You're going to the opposite direction, the wrong way on the traffic, on the freeway.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, I changed my mind. Chinese is right. sue me. So I made a mistake. Oh, never mind. Okay, so he says here, contention itself. Okay? Contention. Okay. Immediately makes you lose the mind of the way, not the will. It's the mind. The will here, here Chinese translate into will, yes. But here it means that's the mind of the way. It's beyond will. The mind of the way, the mind that understands the meaning of the way. If you use Dao Xin, okay, it's not enough. Dao Yi here is much more meaningful in Chinese than Dao Xin. Okay? So that's why it's not the will of the way, but it's the mind of the way. The willing mind of the way, if you will. Okay? Any problems, any disagreements? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Master. What's the difference between debate and contention?
Contention is you fight with your mind as a basis. Debate, because you're fighting with your mind, so you translate that into words. Okay? You translate your contentious mind into verbal debates. Okay? When you have debate, there's winning and losing. Debate is about winning at the expense of someone else. Yes? That's how I understand debate. Okay? So that's why, as a Mahayana Buddhist, the true Mahayana Buddhists in my mind do not engage in debate. There's no need, because it's contention. Debate starts with contention in your mind that translate into words. And that's, if you debate, you contend, then at that very moment that you have a mind of contention, you open your mouth and disagree, okay? Then you lost the mind of the way. You lost your ways already. Whatever efforts, whatever things you did to will yourself to cultivate the way is lost immediately. It's negated. It's neutralized. That's how drastic it is. Immediately. The Ji here, the Ji character here is very dramatic. Okay? Chinese stop me. But to me, the Ji here is like, it's so dramatic. It's like you chop someone's hands off. You cut someone's head off. That's the Ji here, right here. That's the imagery it evokes in my mind. I admit I'm a little bit violent. But this mind, you have a screw on your head here, is for you to cultivate a way. At that very Ji moment, it's like those jihadists, whatever, and they cut people's head off. It's an awful, awful thing to do, okay? I don't advocate you do that. But it's the kind of savagery, violence that occurs to you when you contend. That's how powerful the imagery is. Hey, Doc. You agree? That's not comment about my violence, inclination for violence, but the Chinese is beautiful, let me tell you. It is so beautiful. And I had to translate that into some very violent imagery for you because that's exactly what they mean. That brutality, because you work so hard all your life, all these years. And then because you have a mind of contention, boom, everything is blown up. Yes. Orange, yes.
I totally, Master, I don't see any brutality, violence in that. You're totally on it with your explanation. That's precisely the issue of this translation on contention is not the will of the way. It is like so a very casual,
very meek.
Neutral statement.
It's so weak. It's so soft. That's why I bring you the imagery of violence to contrast that. But I don't mean violence. I'm very pacifistic.
But but for me, it brought me the image of sudden enlightenment. When the preacher says something and then somebody just like, that's that G right there. Suddenly the person just enlightened. Now in this case, once you have the contention, then the opposite happens. You suddenly fall into something else that's really bad. The opposite of sudden enlightenment.
I'm trying to decide whether she's helping me or she's trying to stab me in the back. She's being spy number 2. You never can really totally trust someone who's called spy number 2. But very good. I'm joking, of course. Love you. You're very special.
Are you really loving me or hating me?
I can't tell you to speak the truth. PG-13. Anyone else? This is beautiful. The Chinese is so beautiful. And somehow it's really watered down tremendously when it became English. Okay? Hey, see, the girl gets excited too. See? She gets into the excitement. She gets... I know you don't believe me, but when you have these intense emotions here, intensity here, she responds. You see that? Can you say, I agree. Okay, number 3. 直逆正法门. Help me out, Chinese. You agree with the translation? Okay, it's fine. It works. Okay. I thought it's something else, but this works. I was thinking more of the other angle, but it's okay. This is good enough. Okay. So he says, for in grasping at the doors of contradiction and contention, meaning that if you insist on disagreeing, and fighting, okay? If that's what your inclinations are, is to contradict. I disagree with you. I respectfully disagree with you, okay? That you argue, you disagree, okay? The Dharma doors of contradiction, that's very good. And Canh here is contention, fighting, that's fine, okay? So if you insist on fighting and you insist on arguing and you use these Dharma doors, these various tools, these various tricks to fight, to argue, to debate, okay? to engage people into fighting, into debates. That's what he says. This is number 3. That's what he says. So far, so good. This is our tendencies, especially for asuras. Asuras, they fight. They disagree. First thing you open your mouth, I disagree. Right? That's asuras. The self-nature enters birth and death. You will plant the seeds of birth and death. Okay? This is very profound. It's expressed very in a flowery way. It is just so beautiful Chinese. And that's why you can explain anything you want when you translate into English, and you can say enter birth and death, and you know, and the self nature waits into the cycles, you know, of birth and death and all those things. Very flowery Chinese. It's beautiful. Questions or comments? Okay. Moving on. Yes, Chicago. She's still fasting, Chicago? Day number?
7 thầy.
7?
Yeah. A Di Đà Phật, dạ thưa thầy, nếu như trong cuộc sống hàng ngày mà mình
Don't stop. You better not stop. When are you returning to Chicago?
The end of June thầy.
End of June?
Yes.
Keep fasting. It's doing you good.
Trong cuộc sống hàng ngày, nếu mà con không có agree with someone, thì bây giờ con cứ shut my mouth and just do it my way and just ignore it. Is it right way?
I'm talking about theory. I'm not talking about your life. Why do you always bring it back to your life? It's not about your life. I don't know. How about this? I don't have an answer for you. Okay? But you could try this. If inevitably you will find yourself in disagreement with your co-workers, with your family members, friends, acquaintances. Okay? See how interested the old monk is? He's alive now. Huh? Interesting. So you find yourself, in disagreement with all these people. What to do? That's how I understand the question.
Yes.
Okay? Give her a microphone. Free advice. No? White. Free advice. Pay attention.
It's sandpaper that polishes you and brings you forward and up. All the difficulties that you have to bear.
Ah, how beautiful. Imagery. Yeah. San Diego imagery. That's not Chinese. Beautiful. What do you do when you're afflicted? When someone you don't like comes near you, what do you do? What do you do?
Turn around, walk away.
Turn around, walk away. I say, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I hope I never see your face again. Okay? What do you do? Anyone else? Yes, sir. Okay, Michael. This is so beautiful. Good point. What do you do? Contention. What are you talking about? How can you not contend? Life is full of contention and contradiction. Yes, sir. Orange.
Thank you, Master. Just for my understanding, is this saying to not focus on contradiction, to come to an understanding of your self-nature?
No. It says, don't contend, don't contradict, because it's not good for you. Because you go into birth and death. You are persevering, continuing the birth and death thing, the cycles of birth and death. You're feeding into the cycles of birth and death. It's endless. If your mind has contention, if you say I disagree and so forth, you're feeding to that vicious cycles of birth and death. You die and you're born, you die and born, by and forth. This is a very powerful statement. Okay? If you like that, you will never become a fourth stage arhat, by the way. Don't go near me. Don't, I hope you disappear from the earth and so forth. You will never become a fourth stage arhat. Okay? Never. Anyone else? YouTube answer. This is a very important point. Yes. YouTube.
Daniel says, give a prayer for the person and walk away.
Give a prayer for the person and walk away. That works. Huh? That works, yes? I pray to God you die soon. Yes, Red. Red.
Thank you, Master. I've found over time it's very helpful to find common ground with that person on something very simple. What a nice day it is today. Oh, I saw that show that you talked about. Even if you don't like the person, there's so many easy things that you can align on and not have a contentious atmosphere at the beginning of your interaction. You don't have to run away. You can say nothing too, and you can just smile. But finding something in common is, I found, very helpful for me.
Very good. Anyone else? This is real, folks. It's not theory. Okay? I really love the question. YouTube has the answer.
Hey Yun says, have compassion and patience.
Passion, compassion, and patience. Okay? That works. Now the old monk is awake.
Ngài Huệ Năng á, Ngài dạy cho Ngài Thí Thường á. Thí Thường là một người cũng đã là rất là cao rồi, nhưng mà còn lại khoe với Ngài Huệ Năng là tôi thấy emptiness. Thì Ngài Huệ Năng mới nói là cái tâm chân như của ông á, nó giống như cái bầu trời xanh vậy đó. Mà ông thấy emptiness, ông khởi một tia chớp lên. Làm sao nó còn cái bầu trời xanh, nó làm sao còn cái tánh Buddha nature của ông được. Thì cái người tu mình á, mục đích mình làm sao cái tâm mình trống, mà làm sao trống. Quý vị tự nghiệm trong đầu mình thấy chứ không cần ai nói hết đó. Ngài Huệ Năng dạy cho Ngài Huệ Minh. Khi lúc mà ông không nghĩ thiện, không nghĩ ác đó, nó đó, trong đầu ông đó, chứ nó không phải đâu đem vô hết. Quý vị nghiệm đó có không? Trước khi mình khởi thiện, khởi ác, đầu mình lúc đó nó trống lỏng à, mình biết hết mà nó trống lỏng à. Tôi áp dụng mấy lần nó thành công đó. Tức là khi mình muốn giận ai, mình thất vọng cái gì đó, mình hỏi cái Phật tánh đó, cái trống đó nó có nói gì với người kia, nó biểu mình nói gì không, nó không nói vậy đó. Thì mình ngưng rất là dễ. Còn mình theo cái tâm mình thọt lên thọt xuống đó, là ngoài nói mình trở về sinh tử đó. Mình theo cái tranh luận nè, là sẽ đi, tại vì nó là sinh diệt thì mình sẽ sinh diệt theo. Còn mình đi vào cái mà màu trời xanh không diệt đó, thì mình không sanh không diệt, thì mình với chư Phật đồng một thể. Con xin hết.
Master Hui Neng taught Chi Chang when Chi Chang said that he saw emptiness, and then he said that.
Can't hear you.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Master. So, Master.
Increase the volume.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hello. I'm sorry. So Master Hui Neng, when he taught Venerable Chi Chang, and Venerable Chi Chang said that he saw emptiness, and that he said that that is the mind of thus unmoving. And he said, Master Hui Neng correct him that it's like the blue sky. When you see emptiness, it's similar like there's a flash on the blue sky. So it's not the real blue sky anymore. And then he said that when your mind not think about evil or goodness, at that moment your mind is empty. So that is emptiness inside you. It's not the emptiness that anybody put into your head. So before you give rise to any thought, your mind is empty like that. And then you don't follow the mind, go up and down, then you will not be stuck to birth or death. So that is the real blue sky that he means here.
Okay, very good. Good question. Okay. I hear so many questions regarding this. It's very poignant. Someone says, I live with my mother, and I love her dearly. I do anything for her. And yet, we keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and it breaks my heart. Sounds familiar? Huh? I love, but I find myself fighting, contradicting. It makes me so miserable. It doesn't help that she's manic. This is between parentheses. I can't explain that story, but it doesn't help. She's manic. Okay, so it makes it even worse. Okay, so what do you do? Yeah, go ahead. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm buying time until 9:30 because I don't have an answer. Give me another week to think about it. Yes, ma'am.
So, would you like me to share a comment first or give the answer so that you could buy more time? I have a comment, and that was from earlier talk, and then I also have a response.
Whatever you wish, dear. You decide.
Okay, I'll give the comment to distract the audience. So the comment was, earlier we talked about arhat, first stage. And then you go back and forth 7 times, and in the last life of human being, you become an arhat. I personally knew somebody who was a co-cultivator with me. One day I was talking with this person about, once your family member die, don't touch the body, etc. And she's like, no, when my mom died, we just burned it on the very first day, and we took care of it. And then my mom was happy. My mom, not a cultivator, but then she told different person that we didn't know that would come to our house and tell us that, oh, I'm okay. And then we didn't believe, and then there were more person coming and come to tell them, say, oh, I'm okay, don't worry about me. I am an arhat right now. And the mother never cultivated her whole life. So I assume that must be a case of first stage arhat on the 7 lives of human being. That was the comment. To answer the question about what do you do, well, you run away. If Sun Ju Bing Fa, you cannot fight, you cannot deal with it, run away and then go back and meditation, fasting, work yourself, keep yourself more muscle. Once you have enough muscle, you go back to the place and you fight again.
Hinayana, give him a microphone.
Thank you, Master. For the answer for the mother question, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but the first thing that came to mind was a nu li, push past the point of despair. You know, when you're with your mother like that, to take the despair you're feeling about the way that she's making you feel, and put your hands together and be kind.
Very good. Hey, Chinese person, your last chance. The Chinese has a clue here that it's not obvious to the English audience, but the Chinese is very clear clue.
Thank you, Master, but I'm afraid I don't know the clue. But my personal...
So much pressure. He says, can I just stop being Chinese for tonight? Why you Chinese have such a hard time tonight? You can be communist.
Okay, I'll take that.
Anyone else? It's so beautiful. Yes. Oh.
I wanted to share a personal story of mine.
Okay.
I always have trouble sort of like dealing with my emotions when I talk to my dad. I don't really like have an outburst or anything, but I will feel uncomfortable after like talking to my dad most of the time. And since I've been fasting these couple of days, and I called my parents yesterday, and in the calmer state of mind that I had because of the fasting.
How many days?
Just 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
I can start to see that those words have no meaning to me. What is really bothering me is what was bothering me is that I'm trying to process those words, and those words really does not carry any meaning anymore. And I can see that myself just going down to like my belly button, just not paying attention to the words and the emotions that being carried in them. And that helped me get through the conversation. I did not feel like bad after it, and I did not make my parents feel like terrible for saying any of the things. So I think it's a skill that we can develop to see past the words, so we are not bothered by these words and emotions that comes with it.
Very good. You too.
Daniel says, prayer is the most important to overcome hardship. Every time I have trouble with family or work, I like to pray or listen to Catholic music, and it gives me clarity.
Okay, anyone want to become Catholic? You sign up here, there's a list here, and okay. There you go. Anyone else? We're not insecure. You want to go to switch to the other side, it's okay too. My feelings will be hurt, but yes, Orange.
Master, you said runaway was Hinayana. Now, in my very personal case, very personal, I stand there, and if I don't run away, my mom would be getting more fired up, and she's getting even more upset. And you could get like, in the past it had happened that my brother didn't run away, and he got cut. So, what do you want me to do if running away is Hinayana? I stand there and she got even more upset, more angry, and more planting more seeds to get to the evil realm. If I run away, she had no person to no more fire, no more fuel to burn up.
It's a good question. And I'm trying to find a sage, what the sage would say in those circumstances. And I'm thinking maybe it could be Gandhi or Christopher Columbus. I don't know. But my answer is some things can't be helped. Never mind. Yes. White.
I discovered a little secret about this, thanks to you, Master. Sometimes we're given plaques by the temple, small temporary plaques, and at first I was giving them to my parents and to people I knew, and then I thought, well, I've given them to about everyone that I know personally. And then I would be at work and I would be confronted by someone that was just causing me grief. And it's very difficult not to engage in some sort of conflict with the person. Mm-hmm. And so I decided, well, shoot, there's another little temporary plaque. Why don't I just give it for this person? And lo and behold, like a week later, this person was suddenly nice to me. It was just like like a switch. Mm-hmm. And it's unbelievable.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, go for it. Thank you for holding.
Well, thank you, Master. For me, whenever I can sense that somebody
speak up a little bit.
For me, whenever I can sense that people don't like or disagree with something with me or in a fighting mood, then I start out with wishing them have a good day. I pray for them. And then regarding the mom situation earlier, I think go back to the lecture that you have yesterday. It have every answer in there.
Okay. Are you still fasting, or how come we can't barely hear you?
Yes.
No wonder.
I am.
I'm dying, so I mean, I tell you what I think. If I pass out, it's not my fault. Okay, you all are right. Or what I want to do, I'm sorry, the time is up. I want to quickly point out to you, okay? The key word here is the Chinese word 取, the first one. The problem arises because you 取. 取 here is to grasp. Okay? Grasp here means you insist. If you insist, I insist. See how beautiful the Chinese is? It says, before you say anything, if you insist on fighting, on disagreeing, you're hurting yourself. It's not about they're wrong or you're wrong, but the fact that you insist is wrong. It's so beautiful. No? Think about it for a while. You'd like another week to think about this and we discuss next time? Huh? Isn't that beautiful? If you insist on fighting, You insist on contradicting. You are wrong. You sit there and say, you are so wrong. I don't care what you say. You're wrong. You insist on that. Then you enter birth and death. That's all he says. Yes, go ahead, Green. Full circle.
Dạ thưa thầy, nhưng mà sometimes cái ý nghĩa nó pop up right away. Mặc dầu con không có muốn fighting, nhưng mà cái ý nghĩa nó pop right away in your mind, so con already create birth and death already.
Yeah? Go on. I can multi-process.
So how can I stop it? Mặc dù con không có muốn, nhưng mà tự nhiên how can I stop it?
The word right there, too. Don't insist. The thought that you insist, don't listen to it.
Mặc dù nó pop up nhưng mà con không insist.
It's not you. It's not you. Stay away from me. That's not you. Ignore it. Don't say it. Understand? It's not you.
Yeah, thank you, thầy.
There's many cases where what if they're wrong? Yes? They're wrong. What do you do? This is the problem. They're so wrong. What do you do?
It's just okay, and then accept them.
Don't insist that they're wrong. That's all the patriarch is saying. Even if they're wrong, okay? Don't insist they're wrong. Don't insist on fighting.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all. He's not saying that, you should be wrong or whatever. He just says, don't insist. If they're wrong, okay. Accord. Follow along. Bite your tongue. Suffer with them. Get in trouble with them. But don't fight. Yeah. Don't insist on contradicting them.
Yeah.
Okay? You have to do it my way. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because I know you're going to get hurt. Don't insist.
Yeah.
Let them get hurt. That's us. We don't have to be right. We don't always have to do the right thing. All we have to do is don't fight, don't insist. That's all. That's Mahayana, folks. You think Mahayana, you go out there and say, I'm Mahayana, I'm right, and you're wrong. I'm Mahayana or you're Hinayana, you're wrong. No. We don't insist. That's the spirit of this teaching here. We know we have wisdom. We know we have the answers, but we don't insist. Isn't that beautiful? That's a superior person. He knows they're so wrong. They knows they're so right themselves, but they don't insist. It's okay. I wait for you. I wait until you understand. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to butt heads with you. I wait. I will yield to you. Okay? But it doesn't mean I give up. I play along with you. I'm waiting for that moment where we can connect. Where we can see the words of wisdom. But we don't fight. Do you get it?
Yes.
No fighting, no arguing. I know you're wrong. I know you're so dead wrong. But I'm not going to insist that you're dead wrong. I'm not going to insist that I'm right and you're wrong. It's okay. Have it your way. At McDonald's,
Thank you, thầy.
Does it help?
Yes.
It's not about right and wrong at all. It's about not insisting. It's so beautiful. Yes? And that's what I recommend you husbands do with your wives. Don't insist. You know what I mean? Even if they're so wrong, don't insist. We have the wisdom. Sarah says, that'll be the day. Anyone else?
Master, you don't insist. And
I didn't call on you. But you insisted. Sorry, go ahead.
Master, so you don't say anything. You don't fight with the person. Let the person go wrong because you know you're gonna fight. And then the person did it and things screwed up. The person come back to you. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you insist? Why didn't you fight with me to make me right? Now I screwed up.
Right. So what do you do? That's another topic.
That's the question.
Do we have enough time to discuss this, ladies and gentlemen? You decide for me tonight. Shall I discuss this, or you just want to ignore the spy number 2? If you ignore it, I will not insist. That's what I just learned recently. Your decision. It's so beautiful. You decide. You decide. Go ahead. You decide. Up to you. Go ahead. Abuse me. Insult me. Huh? Go ahead. Hurt yourself. Don't say that. That's all. And then she says, what if then the mother comes back, oh, why didn't you tell me earlier? Then what do? I tried to, Mom, but you wouldn't let me. How could you accuse me of doing that? You're fighting again, aren't you? So what do? You say, if you insist, in the future, I will stop you. Is it okay? You see? You wishy-washy, you see? First you say, I don't insist, okay? Mom says, why didn't you insist? I say, okay, in future, I will insist, you see? You don't insist. You see that? It's called insisting and yet not insisting. Or not insisting and yet insisting. I love this Chinese wisdom. It's so beautiful. One word. 知. That's it. That's what we should learn tonight. Don't hang on to that. Don't insist. Don't insist. And then you can love each other and live in harmony. Hallelujah. Amen. Isn't it beautiful? Who says that Buddhists are not Catholics? We're already Catholics. That's why we became Buddhists. Thank you, everyone. You've been